How y'all doing today? I do go by the name of Hussl Lou, born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, Houston, Texas. I do claim to be home in the States, so shout out to home. I do currently reside in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a spoken word poet, as well as a friend of Jordan Lumpkins, you know what I'm saying? And over here, who we are all here for today. So as we continue with the program, we're about to embark on a section of the program where you guys get an explanation and understanding of what you see on the walls, right? So, Jordan, the prerequisite, the art of doing. I was there, we did it. Really, you did it, but you know what I'm saying? It happened, right? It's the price of freedom. Why the price of freedom? Why that title?
So first off, man, thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate the support, I appreciate the love. It means a lot to see all y'all's faces here. So, the price of freedom came about during a really rough time in my life. Somebody that's really important to me was actually transitioning, and I just so happened to be at home and just kind of observing the state of the world and where we are as a black community, people as color. And today, in comparison to where we were, you know, at the start of emancipation, although there are many facets of our life that have changed greatly, you know, institutionally and in a variety of other ways, we're still shackled. So I just kind of channeled that spirit, kind of taking a bird's eye view of people and saying, hey, like, you know, what are some of the highs for us as black people? What are some of the things that I feel like maybe we could improve on? And also some of the more like morbid aspects of just humanity, being black. And then also just encouragement to look forward to a brighter future, things that we can do as black people to improve and things that are beautiful about who we are as a community. So that was the inspiration for the price of freedom.
Okay. The piece I just did started off saying freedom is an illusion and time is a factor on its destination, right? That's my perspective on freedom. What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom for me is boundlessness, you know, freedom of the mind, freedom of the spirit. And as I get older, financial freedom, you know, like the financial component is very important, especially in America. You know, maybe I've had the ability, you know, I've been fortunate enough to just travel and live in other countries for short stints, but just to see like the quality of living, what we're able to do with a dollar, how to make it stretch in other places versus here. You know, it costs. And as time goes, you know, things get more expensive, inflation. So I would say just freedom of the mind, freedom of the spirit, and financial freedom is what I consider freedom.
Okay. So now we're gonna get into a little bit more of the work on the walls, right? I do have another question before we touch on the work on the walls. Freedom is one thing, being an artist. Creative freedom, I find pivotal. Can you tell me how going through three solo exhibitions, how you've grown due to being able to have creative freedom? How it's helped mold you as a more than just an artist?
Community, man, like being an artist and putting something like this together, it takes a lot. And I'm somebody that's very like headstrong, somebody that's very like DIY, you know, and I'm a patient person, but I also don't like to be on the clock of someone else. So if I feel like I can do it, I won't wait. I'll take the initiative to just do it on my own. So, you know, to be in this space and to create work, you know, in this headspace that I've been in, you know, I feel like I've grown as an individual. It like art can bring out the best and the worst in me. You know, I think that being a creative, it has certain aspects of just being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? So like I was just talking to like Josh, my install guy. I don't know if he's here. Shout out to Josh.
Shout out
I
Josh.
was just talking to Josh and just telling him like, man, it's aspects of being the creative, just creating a body of work that even if I think it's cool or not cool, just kind of putting myself in the public eye and leaving it up to the viewers to decide what's what, what's good, what's bad. You know, that's mind shattering to some people, and I think that it's just helped me. Like, I listened to Wallow 267, and a while back he was just like, you gotta activate that fuck it button. And I think that that's what it can do, is just in so many ways just activate a lack of care for anything that doesn't like pertain to or is not in line with like what God has in store for me, but also just like the vision that I see for my life. You know, so it's kind of streamlined my thought process and even my artistic practice.
Yeah. Okay. Now to the work on the wall. The Price of Freedom is the name of the exhibition. If you were forced with a gun in your head, won't never happen, to pick just one piece that most represents the price of freedom, which one and why?
That's a difficult question because, you know, freedom is relatively subjective to all people. You know, freedom could just be spatial. Freedom could be the ability to just move like geographically, financial freedom, freedom of thought, you know, freedom from relationships, or just like, it means a lot. But I would say, like, honestly, keep your head to the sky. Like, I'm someone that, although at times I can be like rather serious, I'm also an optimist. And I'm someone that's very hopeful and encouraging. Like, I'm an encouraging person, but I also look forward, you know, like the saying, onward and upward. So keep your head to the sky. It was actually, during the time I was creating that piece, it was an ode to,
keep your head to the sky is which one?
The blue piece.
Okay.
To the back. Like, that was an ode to black folks, just telling them to keep pushing on, keep moving forward. But also at that time, like, I was going through a really rough period personally. So like that, I was talking to myself in a lot of that. I'm somebody who actively tries to practice the things that I preach. So, you know, these memorandums and these messages and all of the things that are in the artwork, these are things that not only that I think and that I just put in the world, but also things that I try to practice on my own.
Okay. What most do you want people to walk away with after this exhibition?
I would say that, you know, that blackness is not a monolith. You know what I'm saying? The black experience for everybody is different. And freedom is different for everybody. But what I want people to take away is based off where we were and where we are now. You know, are we still as free as we think we are? We look at the current state of the U.S., just like foreign affairs. We're looking at the current administration. We look at DEI rollbacks, which really never affected us that greatly, or we never really benefited from as greatly as some other communities. But you know, where do we go from here is the question. So, you know, yes, we've had a horrid past. We've done some great things in the world, and we had some very notable people that have pushed American culture and American invention forward. Whether they're recognized or not, those things happen. You know, so you think about just where we had the potential to go with bright minds, technology, AI, all that is coming of age in the world. I think that it's not something to be fearful of, but something to integrate into our lives. You know what I'm saying? So just stay encouraged, stay hopeful, and keep pushing forward.
Okay. Solo exhibition number 3, right? What do you think should be next? Not what you have planned next necessarily, because I think as creators we tend to always want to strategize based off the work that is with us or that is already on us. But I think for me, one thing that I found is that God definitely places new work on my heart as I open up new environments, or as He opens up new environments for me to walk into. What do you think should be next after this exhibition number 3?
For me, man, I just feel like it's time to hit the road. Take this show somewhere else. Take my talents elsewhere. Houston has been great to me. I've gotten a lot of support, and as you can see, the room is pretty full, and so people at least appreciate the art, or even if they don't, they just are willing to support me in what I've been putting together. And some of these faces are reoccurring, so it gives me the impression that maybe that my work is impacting people in a positive way, or in some way it's making them feel something. So I don't think that should just be constrained to one demographic of people or one location. Like, I think that next is maybe going home, maybe going to New York, maybe going to Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? Maybe going to, I don't know, California, Atlanta, wherever the case may be. It's just like touching a new group of people elsewhere, and just truly seeing how impactful my work can be. I've had the opportunity to go across the globe doing artwork. Like, I did an artist residency in Angola last year, and just to hear people who could barely speak English like tell me how much they enjoyed my work it was a special thing. So I think that I could do that domestically, So yeah.
Okay. Last question, because I think they have questions for you themselves. So last question. We've got colors behind us, right? That wall over there specifically has someone that a lot of people recognize, right? Malcolm, as well as Rosa Parks on the corner, right? The price of freedom. It is Juneteenth weekend. Was that intentional? And can you elaborate as to why, if it was intentional?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it was very intentional. 100%. Because I wanted the synergy to align, like, not so much just hell bent on the idea of like, yeah, we are free now and we're not slaves anymore. And, I think thematically we are burnt out on just slave talk, but also just like, I've been hearing conversations in a lot of art spaces about like re-envisioning blackness and, our relationship to space and just all of these different things. But I think that like, we need to be rooted like fundamentally in something. Like, I think that Black people, since we are not like a monolithic people, we don't have a universal way of thinking, and even within the Black community, it's stratification based off education, based off where you live, based off where you're from, who you connected to. So if we can just bypass those sorts of barriers and develop a unified like school of thought approach to life, like that's kind of where this idea came from. It's like having people come together to talk about like what's true freedom, because it's quite evident right now with this administration we're not as free as we really think we are.
I actually have one more question. Sorry, my fault. We talk about the price of freedom. You speak a good amount on what freedom looks like for us, right? For people of color. I also see on the wall when you first walk in, I see a set of work that seems or appears doesn't necessarily match everything else. I like it. I see designer stuff on it, but I see no designer logos on it. Right? I see purses, I see glass, I see watch. Can you expand a little bit more on what that means, what that portion of the price of freedom means?
Yeah, it just goes back to the idea of like financial freedom and us living in a consumer-driven society where a lot of people develop and form identities based off of like what we appropriate and things that we accrue over time. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of not so much a knock, but just hey, instead of you spending a few thousand on this, like maybe invest that in Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
not a bad idea.
Check out some cryptocurrency. Maybe look at some other investment vehicles, life insurance policies, index funds, you know, whatever the case may be, whatever you feel like fits your long-term and financial goals. Then, you know, that's where I'm at.
Okay. You guys give it up for Jordan Love one time. Give it up.